The basic point is clear. People are in conflict over the things that are valued by society, and it is precisely the fact of scarcity that gives these things value. So every society must develop some process for allocating or determining who gets these things of value. This process is called politics, and the political process must be accepted as legitimate by most members of society in order for people to perceive outcomes as authoritative. That is, for people to accept that they are obligated by those allocations. At this juncture, permit me to offer my own definition of politics. Not that my definition is superior to either Easton's or Laswell's. In fact, it says exactly the same thing as theirs says. However, it states with some specificity a couple of things that Laswell and Easton's definitions only imply. I define politics as the competitive process engaged in a society to allocate scarce resources and determine priorities. This definition tells us why people value certain things, the fact of scarcity. It tells us that people are in conflict over the things that are valued by society. Like any other competition, for better or worse, the political process produces winners and losers. We do not have to think of politics as a zero-sum game in which someone wins absolutely everything and others lose absolutely everything. Politics is more nuanced than that. Instead, we should think in terms of relative winners and relative losers. Some people have relatively more wealth, some people have relatively less. Some people get relatively more education, some people get relatively less. Some people have more abundant water resources, some have relatively less. Finally, this definition alerts us to the fact that the way that a society allocates its scarce resources, that is, the nature of its politics, says something about the priorities of its members. Sometimes we use labels like socialist or totalitarian or liberal to characterize the politics of a given society. These labels imply some things about the priorities of a society. We will have opportunities in lectures to come to examine these labels in some detail. For now, let's turn our attention to defining our second concept, government.